part 2 going.
All right.
Oh, maybe. Things are running. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Wiregrass Haunts, Part 2. We are somehow or another being inundated with commercials. I don't know exactly what's going on. Can you hear now, Teresa? Okay. Well, I'm getting responses over here. But anyway, I do apologize for that, and we will get it straightened out because we have some good stuff coming up, and we don't want anybody to miss anything. We were actually talking with Mr. Leon Wilkes. He is a demonologist, great guy. He is currently, January 18th will be his first show here on the web. It's called The Work. And he's going to have Dave Considine as his first guest. And we were actually talking about demonic coverage. So I guess we're having another commercial, and it's kind of like earthquakes, tremors.
No.
All right, Leon, keep going, brother. Let's see if we can try this again.
Okay, so where were we?
Honestly, I don't remember. You were actually talking about possession and things like that, and
yes. I remember now. I was talking about how everything, how we do in our cases, how we put everything, we measure everything out, and we look at everything in a total perspective. So that's how we, gauge what is demonic and what isn't, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a very, very complicated and very, very, let's say, innovative process, and it takes a long time.
Yes. I've done a lot of reading on the subject, just simply because of my background, and it's unbelievable at how much time can that actual possession can take.
Yes. Natural possession, for it to gain the will, for it to break the will like of the person, that can take time. That can take a long time, as a matter of years, maybe a matter of months, or it could be a matter of decades. Because the demon's ultimate goal is to possess the human body, and they do it in a series of steps. It'll be infestation, oppression, then you'll have in there obsession, and then you'll have possession. So, but there's a lot of times where the oppression is when it's targeting one person. That can look a lot like possession. So you have to be able to know the difference. You have to be able to know and kind of know how to treat it. With oppression, that is a part to where if it's a mild oppression, then a deliverance can work. A deliverance session. Now, sometimes you get a very deeply embedded depression to where a deliverance will not work, and you have to call in a priest to do a minor rite of exorcism. So it's about gauging it. It's about knowing what you're looking for, and that takes time and years, and that takes really following strict protocol to know what you're looking for. Now, obsession. When you see a client go into the obsession phase, that could either mean that this thing is ramping up its efforts, and it is seem like it's very, very obsessive like other person, or it could be to where the person is obsessive of it. So when it hits to that phase, you're getting to very, very dangerous territory, to the point to where this thing is about to break the will of a person. Just as soon as it breaks the will of a person, then it can take possession.
Right. And it takes a long time. Well, of course, it's according to the person's situation, whether they have drug use or mental illness and things like that. That those factors also play a lot into it. Is that right?
Yeah, that plays a lot into it. Drug abuse can be one of those things to where it'll bring in the demonic. It even goes back to, let's say, for example, there's 3 ways that the demonic can gain entry into your life. Number 1 is the things that the person does throughout their life, either knowingly or unknowingly. A person can be a drug addict, can be a very abusive person. Or go as far as doing Satanism and stuff like that. Then the second way these things can gain access to your life is through things that has been done to that person. Sometimes the person doesn't have control of what happens to them. Now, when we're talking about things like molestation, rape, you being physically abused, verbally abused, you being rejected by your parents, being abandoned, all that can pile in, and that can cause these things to come in, and gain the legal right to your life. Now, the third one is what people really don't consider a lot. It's generational ties. These things can come in through generational bloodlines. Let's say your ancestors were how can I put it, Satanists. Well, that can filter in too. Through not what you've done or what's been done to you, but through that bloodline. I've had many cases where the client was under assault by the demonic, and it's nothing that they did, but it's what their ancestors did that actually brought them in. So it is one of those things to where it can be very, very nitpicky, to the point to where it's not what you've done or what was done to you, but what your ancestors have done. So it gets very, very how can I put it, particular about what's been done and what hasn't. So there are many ways that people can come under assault by the demonic in ways that they couldn't even fathom. So that's where we come in. We specialize in this, and we're no experts, but I can only do what I've been trained to do. and I know how to pick out what is demonic and what isn't, and that's the process. How the demonic works. You go with infestation, oppression, obsession, and then possession.
Yes, I had seen a couple of videos of some people that were actually experiencing demonic issues in their house.
Yeah.
And their daughter actually was gaining things like in her sleep, she was getting bruised,
Yep.
a little like fingers wrapped themselves around their arms and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And there was actually things that occurred in the house where it sounded like there was crying,
Mm-hmm.
and the crying would only come from the daughter's bedroom.
Yeah.
And the daughter, of course, she'd wake up in the middle of the night. She'd go back to sleep. She'd wake up. She had accidents as far as her personal hygiene goes.
Yeah.
And things. Of course, the first thing that they said, it was mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I have to, think that not everything is a mental illness.
No, everything isn't mental illness. I know I've had several cases where these things will hide behind the guise of mental illness. To the point to where I was doing a deliverance, and I asked for its name, and it said, "I am mental illness." I'm like, "Oh, okay," So, but mental illness, I believe and I fully agree that it is a medical condition. It is a psychological condition. I mean, like you have psychosis, you have schizophrenia, you have all this stuff, and a lot of it looks like demonic problems. And you have to be able to weed out what is and what isn't. That's why on my team I have a psychologist, and she goes with us on cases. At the beginning of this year, we had a case where the girl was faking possession, and there's some things I do behind the scenes that the client doesn't know that I'm doing. And if I come in contact with the person who was supposed to be possessed, and if I shake their hands, "Hi, I'm Leon. It's nice to meet you." Just a simple greeting. If it is a demonic possession, they're going to flip out. So in that case, I did that. I had a special sacramental like on my hands that she didn't know I had, and I shook her hand. There was no reaction like whatsoever. So that told me we're not dealing with anything that is psychological. We're not dealing with anything that is spiritual. We're not dealing with a possession. We're dealing with someone who may have some psychological problems. So then, during the interview process, I kind of stepped back just a little bit and let the psychologist start asking some questions. And they didn't know that this investigator was a psychologist, and she was able to pinpoint, yes, this is a psychological problem. She was showing clear signs of psychosis. And she was even reverting back to her old 4-year-old self with sucking her thumb. So, but that's because in her past there was a lot of things that happened to her that psychologically she hadn't got help for, and she was reverting back to her old self. So it's sad to see those situations, but I'm so glad that it was not possession.
Right.
Possession is one of those things, a possession case. is something that